I have spent a lot of time reading the red and saying, Lord, I know you're in there, but I sure would like to see you come out. And the more that you look in the mirror, in a natural mirror, when you look in the mirror, what do you see? It reflects what you're looking at. And the life of Jesus is a mirror for us to look into and realize, that's who I am. I can do absolutely anything that Jesus can do. I couldn't say that for a long time. And soon as you say that, somebody will come up and say, let's see you do a miracle. But see, the key to being able to do anything that Jesus did, the key to that is only doing what your Father tells you to do. That's what he did. You see, the Word of Faith movement told us that Jesus healed everybody. All the time. I won't mention his name, but one of the famous Word of Faith preachers came to our church one time. And his whole message was how Jesus healed everybody, every time, without fail. Always healed everybody.
True.
And we all know that. You know, if you know the Scripture, you know that's just not true. But in his mind, it was true. And so after this long dissertation about how God heals everyone every time, he said, now I'm going to have a healing line. I thought, boy, this man is brave after what he just said. Because he just said God heals you every time without fail. So I want to see this. The first lady to come up to him, she had, I forget, it was like a goiter or something on her neck. She wanted him to pray for her. Here's what he said to her. Sister, I'm going to pray for you. And if you have the faith, God will heal you. And I spoke up quite loudly. And I said, brother, if she has the faith to be healed, she don't need you to pray for her. I'll tell you, the ministry. I heard a preacher on TV, and you'd know his name. A couple of weeks ago on a Sunday, he was raising money for his ministry. And he said, God just spoke to me and said, there's someone out there. In fact, he said, there's several out there who God wants you to donate $1,000 to this ministry. And he just told me that if you will use your credit card, that he will pay off your debt. I heard that with my own ears. And we call that a Christian network. I call that a mess. Beholding as in a mirror. So I tell people, you know, if you would just use Jesus for your mirror. He never rejected anyone. He never criticized, except the religious folks of his day. I think they got onto it just a little bit. But even the woman that was brought to him in adultery, he didn't call her a name or try to correct her. He just said, if nobody else accuses you, then I won't accuse you either.
Right.
I realized when I read that one day, whosoever sins, you remit, they are remitted. But whosoever sins you retain, they are retained. And when I saw that, I realized what forgiveness was. Do you know if you do something to me, and I hold resentment in my heart toward you, that I hold you in prison? I imprison you with that thought. But if I can find it within my being, which is very easy for me to do today, in fact, you won't offend me today, but if I immediately release that and forgive you, that sets you free. How many people have we kept in bondage through resentment and bitterness? It's time to set the captives free. You know what? You can't afford to be bitter. You can't afford to hold resentment. Resentment and bitterness can literally kill you. And that's why if that stuff is in you, how do I deal with it? I had to deal with forgiveness. And so I would say out of my mouth, Lord, I forgive this person. I really do. But then when I would think about it, I knew I hadn't. And I dealt with the Lord in several areas of my life this way that I just couldn't seem to get the victory over. And I said, Lord, I forgive this. I want to. But when I think about it, I just can't stand it. And here's what the Lord said to me. Forgiveness is not a feeling. It's not even an emotion. Forgiveness is a choice. And if you make what you have, make the choice to forgive, then every time that thought comes to you, you just say, I have forgiven that. I don't take offense at that. No, he says no matter how your emotions are stirred within you, you stand on your choice. I have forgiven that person. And I'm telling you, through practical experience in an area like that, you will find that you never again have to forgive anybody because you won't take offense. You know, Jesus himself said, blessed is the one who don't take any offense at me. But see, the land that we're to take and possess is this land. And so much talk today about the finished work. So many are declaring that we are finished. And I understand that in the Spirit, we are a complete, whole, righteous, holy, undefiled. But listen, what is in our spirit must be worked into every area of our being. Do you really want to walk in resurrection life, I say? Do you really want to ascend? You know, we have been in an ascension process since the very day this seed was germinated within us. We are ascending. And if you'll look back over your life, if you've been one who has been in contact with God, you'll see that even the person you was 5 years ago, you are not that person anymore. Your consciousness has been raised. Your awareness has been expanded. And your heart has been enlarged to where you're able to love the unlovely and hold out arms of embracement to all of humanity. And the only thing that stops that is your belief in good and evil. Des said this morning, he said it a couple of times, without the law there is no sin. How would you know what sin is if there's no law?